To give you guys an update on this, burnt toast smelled appetizing. But people ask me, like, are you hungry? Maybe I'll put a photo on screen. So it's either the tests are wrong, ton of inflammatory markers, Xifaxan and neomycin. Money does not buy happiness. And then I got Raynaud's syndrome. You need food to survive, but I only feel good when I don't eat food. What's going on? This is gonna be an update for the elemental diet that I'm on. I started sharing this a little bit on the channel, and I started having some folks from, I guess, the community that's dealing with gut digestive issues start commenting and asking. I know my channel is more automotive focused, but like I've said, this is really hard. This is taking a direct impact on everything of my life. So I'm going to start sharing this. You know, the channel is called Driven District. I've said it before, driven is to be driven in life with your goals to pursue. And I didn't think I would use that terminology in this way while I'm going through this. But next month, in May 2023, is going to be a year that I've been dealing with this digestive issues. I started off at 180 pounds. I lost 30 pounds like right away in the first few months because I just couldn't eat. I was like scared to eat. I was in so much pain that the pain kept me from eating. And then I leveled out at about 150, and now I'm 139. But I lost like 7 pounds in the first 7 days of doing this, even though I'm having more calories daily with the elemental than I was with food. Because again, with food, I couldn't eat my last meal. I was in fucking bed laying in the fetal position in pain. This is helping with that to a degree. So it's probably water weight that I'm losing, because prior to this, I was on over a month of a pureed diet of just soups, which would consist of bone broth and either chicken or ground beef in a NutriBullet with kale, spinach, sweet potatoes. And then I even got to the point where I literally just did bone broth and ground beef, and I would just season with salt. So I was someone who never ate a lot of salt, started eating a lot of salt. That's all I could season with. My numbers were all good as far as blood pressure, all that, so I'm not affected by that. But it's probably water weight, losing 7 pounds in 7 days. I was like 146 when I started the elemental diet, and now it's 139 last time I weighed myself. So I'm gonna give you guys an update on this. This is day 9, I believe. I have 5 more days left. It has gone easier. For some folks, they say after day 3 or 4, you get used to it. For me, at least, of course, everyone's different. It took about 7 days. I just recently started getting to the point where I can almost drink all 5 shakes and not feel like to the point that those sips would make me gag and make a face and feel like I was nauseous from it. The first few are always the easiest. The morning shake, not bad at all. I look forward to it. It's nice. It's good. This is my second. Again, not bad. I usually fill this up with like crushed ice up to like here, and then the rest of it with water. So it's almost a full bottle of water, and then a ton of ice. So it's well over a full bottle of water if you include all the ice. I put 3 scoops to 106 grams. My nutritionist measured it out for me for my calories and what I need and everything. I got my phone that might be vibrating over here. And yeah, 3 scoops with that all filled with water. And I could sip on it and enjoy it, but each one gets a little bit harder to consume. The last one's always the hardest. I usually do it every 3 hours. So I don't do it like right when I wake up. I'll do like 10 a.m., 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the last one's usually around 9:30, so I don't want to have it too late. So it's a little bit quicker, like in between. It definitely was harder the first couple days. The taste got better with time. I'm strict about it though. Like, I have the mindset to do this. Some folks don't. Do it. Just do it. I know it's not easy because I'm doing it right now. And I've spoken to people who've done it for like 4 or 5 days, and I'm like, I can't do it no more. When you're in the pain that I'm in, which I'm sure some of you who are watching this understand, you will do anything. At that point, like I said, mind over matter. It sucks not to eat food. This is pre-digested nutrients that gets digested higher up and gives your gut a rest. It's more or less what I heard they would put through a feeding tube, IV nutrients. So it ain't nothing to like look forward to. And I'm sorry if there's wind noise around. I have a fan behind me. I'm always cold, so I have this on, but the fan's literally just for sound. I hate like dead silence when I'm sleeping. I'm in the bedroom right now. I'll try and edit that in post or whatever. But people ask me like, are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry when I'm drinking these. As you can tell, they're very big. With 3 scoops, it's like 450 calories, give or take, I think. I drink 5 of these a day. It takes me an hour. You're supposed to drink them very slow, so you do it on purpose. You sip on it over the course of an hour. So by the time I'm done, 2 hours later, I'm making another one. So I'm not actually hungry. My body I don't feel the state of hunger. I just feel like I would have anything in the world besides this. Like yesterday, my girlfriend came back from work and she made something and burnt something in the toaster oven, and it smelled like burnt toast. Usually burnt toast don't smell good. The whole house smells like it. It's disgusting. I was upstairs working and I walked out of the office and I was like, wow, like, this is the first time in my life that I smelled burnt toast, and I wish I could take a bite of that. It smelled appetizing. Burnt toast smelled appetizing. You know, recently it was Easter. I had family over. I was already on this diet. They had this beautiful Italian dinner spread. And the following days they stayed to visit and they just ordered, food from a pizzeria. That's hard, but again, mind over matter. I'm just a little annoyed that I'm 9 days in and, well, I got to be grateful for what I have. I do have some relief. Once out of the past 9 days, I went to bed in a lot of pain. The rest was minimal discomfort. I always like to distinguish discomfort from pain, because discomfort I could deal with. Pain is where it gets really, really hard to live with like that. Pain to me is when I'm literally trying to sleep. My insides are spasming to the point that my body is flinching in bed and jumping in pain and agony. And it's like all this trapped gas and pains inside of me that just my body will not move, digest, do anything. And this is with being on a period diet for a month. I don't know what else to do. I've done every test under the sun except 2, which 3 days after this, I have it scheduled, colonoscopy, endoscopy. I've been putting it off because who wants to get a colonoscopy? But again, I'm to the point where I need to be healed from this. Like, I have way too many things that I got to get done, and I need to be healed from this. So I'm trying to be very positive. But it's not easy. A lot of folks from the outside don't understand. I'm also making this video to share, not as like a rant, not as let me feel bad for him, but as a way to let people know that the folks who are going through these, whatever this even is, I don't even know at this point, disease, whatever it is. If you're going through it and you're watching this, I'm sure you can understand this. But if not, it is extremely, extremely debilitating. I have chatted with some folks who, and I'm not going to say names obviously, who said they're 2 years into this and 4 months in, they had to delete their entire Instagram because they could not see everyone else enjoying life and them not being able to do what a normal person can do. And I can empathize with that. I can relate to that. I'm just trying very hard not to get put into that position. And to the person, if you are watching this, please try and be positive. Please try and do some of the things, which I know it's extremely difficult, to stay motivated, to keep your mind proper, because your mental state is a huge role in this, and me making this hopefully will help me stay positive as well. It's extremely difficult. The whole not eating food is almost secondary at this point. It's hard when you have things to do and you can't. When your body is the thing keeping you. It's not, because I've been years ago through a very bad depression, anxiety. And if you've been through it, you know it again. And if you haven't, some folks won't understand. Or if you know someone close who has, then you might understand. The reason why I say this is because when I was going through this, I don't know, at this point, it could be 7, 8, 9 years ago, I was to the point where it was so difficult to do anything, leave the house, get out of bed. I did not care about anything. I had a business that was doing well at the time. I had 4 or 5 cars, and my friends who didn't understand this would be like, why are you sad? Why are you upset? Like, dude, just be happy. You have like 5 cars, you have all this money you're making. And I'm like, that's not what this is about. This is why, like, I'm a very firm believer, like, money does not buy happiness. Because I had the money, I had the cars, and I had everything. And nothing mattered to me. I went from being up here, both financially and just in my life with everything, to being severely in debt, letting myself go both health-wise. Like 9 years ago, I blew up to like 250 pounds. And then I finally decided I needed to make changes in my life. It just slowly, I started to build up some motivation and positivity. And within, I think it was 3-4 months. So I went from like the 250 to 220 slowly, just from diet changes and no exercise. Because I always used to work out and eat healthy, but I knew your body needs to slowly get back into it. Then when I hit 220, started hitting the gym. And I think it was about 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Maybe I'll put a photo on screen. I put it in another video before. I went from 220 to like 160 something. And people were like, oh my God, what did you take? What did you do? I know you took something. I'm like, nah. I ate healthy. I incorporated intermittent fasting, and I worked out almost every single day. It was either a muscle group or it was cardio. I would do miles and miles on the treadmill if it was a cardio day. I would do boxing, because honestly, I do hate running. It's boring, but I did it. I would do boxing for the cardio, and it's also a lot of movement, so you feel the burn in your shoulders in different areas, and I would hit the weights. And for 3 months straight, I was strict. And I got to that 165 mark. Between 165, 175 was my prime of both health, fitness, working out, and everything. I never worked out to try and get huge, buff, this. It was more like, it kept me sane as well. I enjoyed it. It was an outlet. I loved going to the gym, blasting my music, and just pushing. I can't do that right now. But I'm still trying to do a little bit because I can't lose any more weight. So what I do, like I said in other videos, is push-ups. Every couple days I'll switch back and forth. My body feels up to it. I'll bang out over 100 push-ups. The next day, my arms, they're sore today. And this is literally just from bands. The freaking plastic bands with handles that you just stand on it and you have the different strengths with the cords or whatever. I just did biceps, did sets, 10 to 20, boom, 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 did it, rested for a bit, kept doing it. Did it enough where I'm sore today just from doing that. I could feel it. I could feel it from touching it and moving it. They're sore. I wanted to do push-ups today, but unfortunately today my stomach is really bothering me. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this completely negative. It's just, it is not easy. Luckily, I need to take a sip of this, or I want to try and finish this within the hour, because I got to make another one a couple hours later. Yeah. It's not terrible. You do get used to it. For me, it took a good 7 days. Like I said, the beginning was always easier, like the first one, second one, but when you're doing 5 a day, it gets hard. I'm just really hoping when I'm done, I'll have about 3 days to incorporate food. I'm going to have to start very slow. Basically, my body needs to learn how to digest food again. So I'm going to work with my nutritionist, incorporate like bone broth. And normally people will go to a puree diet. I already was on that for like over a month. So to me, that's a piece of cake. I'm looking forward to being back on that. But at the same time, if my gut problems, my body starts putting me in those debilitating pain issues, that's what's really going to suck. I can go back to the elemental, but it's like, I can't live off this. And it's not fully healing me as of now. Maybe after 5 days, I'll get better. I don't see it happening. Like, I'm not trying to be not positive. I'm just trying to be honest. I did 2 weeks of a very potent antibiotic last year, Xifaxan and neomycin. If people who have had SIBO, specifically methane SIBO, you guys know about this. It's very expensive. Neomycin is also very tough on the body from what I've heard. I was afraid to take it. People have had hearing loss, hearing problems. I decided to take it, and luckily I did not have any negative side effects. And I felt relief during those 2 weeks, but then once I stopped, it all came back. started working with another nutritionist practitioner, gut specialist, SIBO specialist. We went on a 2-month herbal antimicrobial protocol. Excuse me. And again, I felt relief for about about a week and a half. It all came back. Then I did the pureed diet more recently. Felt relief for a bit, and it all came back. So you could probably see why I'm not too optimistic in the sense of like, what's going to happen after 2 weeks and I start incorporating food again? Hopefully my body keeps progressing towards healing itself. But I don't know. And I recently did a gut zoomer test, which is a stool test. And apparently there was a ton of inflammatory markers for... So there's a difference from IBS and IBD. IBS is more like we don't know what you have, so we're giving you this blanket statement of IBS. IBD, I've come to learn, actually has things under it. For example, Crohn's disease, and I can never pronounce it, Ulcerative Colitis, that falls under IBD. Apparently I had a lot of inflammatory markers that led, pointed towards either ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. So that's why I need to bite the bullet and do the colonoscopy, endoscopy. I'll have 3 to 4 days. I wanted to do it while I was on the elemental diet because I told the GI doctor that I was about to go on it, and this I'll probably be a little bit more clean and I could have a very easy prep. And he said yes. Well, he didn't tell me that I can't drink this while on it. And while I'm on this, I can't do anything else. Normal folks could do like bone broth and jellos and this and that and clear liquids to give themselves nutrients. So I would have had to have done 1 week elemental, then a 24-hour water fast, then back to 1 week elemental. And it would have been 4 to 5 days into the elemental, give or take almost a week, that I would have gotten the colonoscopy and endoscopy. And sometimes you get what's called a Herx reaction, when all the bacteria inside of you is dying off from this because it starves the bad bacteria. You get flu-like symptoms. And I had 2 people tell me, like nutritional doctors, like just push off the colonoscopy until you're done with this. They're like, it's gonna be way too much in your body when you're not even having food for almost a week, and then a 24-hour water fast and possibly having flu-like symptoms and then going under and doing all that. So I pushed it off. I'm still not looking forward to it, but I gotta do it because I gotta figure out what's wrong with my body. I really, really want to heal it. I just don't know. You've seen my other videos. I started getting random other things with my body. It started with my fingers on my right hand, one by one, started getting inflamed to the point where all of my fingers were red, inflamed, and painful. This lasted about a month. And this happened 9 months into my digestive issues. So it's like, is it connected? Probably, but how? And then I got Raynaud's syndrome, where the tips of my fingers would just turn completely white and cold. I think they lost circulation. And that lasted for like another 3 weeks with the swollen fingers. That would happen on both hands. The inflammation was only the right. That just started getting better about 2 weeks ago. I think it's been about a week and a half or 2 that I have not had the Raynaud's syndrome and the inflammation. My right hand now, I think, looks like my left hand. It's not inflamed anymore. So it's kind of like my body's yelling at me from all different angles for help, but I don't know how to help it. And I'm trying to figure it out. For me, it's whenever I eat, as it progresses towards the nighttime, my digestion just kind of like shuts off. And I get extreme trapped gas. And I'm always someone who ate healthy, had a high fiber diet, a high protein diet, worked out. What does that mean? You naturally pass gas and stuff. That's what happens. You're human. When all that, again, I don't even know what the hell is going on with my body, but it is so painful. And I'm putting myself through so much mental, I guess it's mental stress, but I'm trying not to use the word stress because it's not. I'm trying to be positive about it. But it's like I said, it's not easy to have to cut everything out. Like when the doctor, nutritionist was like, no sugar, I went on no sugar that day. When they said cut out this, I cut out that day. I've been on the same diet for so long, and we switch little things here and there. Then we started to realize it's not a certain food. It's all food that my body can't handle. And that's what really hit me. Because I was willing to eat anything And when I realized that it's all food, I'm like, seriously, like, this is just crazy. You need food to survive, but I only feel good when I don't eat food. Think about that. Can't live like that. You literally cannot live. You'll die if you don't eat. So elemental is what everyone wanted to put off. Since the beginning of time when I got SIBO like a year ago, I wanted to try the elemental because I heard it can cure SIBO, had a very high rate of curing it because it starved the bacteria. SIBO is an overgrowth, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Bacteria is not supposed to be there. It's called like archaea or something. And this starves it, and that's where you get the die-off symptoms, it's called, because the bacteria dies off, they release toxins, and then you get those flu-like symptoms. All good. I'll take all that to know that bacteria is out of there. But for some reason, I've worked with 2 different practitioners, and they both are not a fan of the elemental diet. But it got to the point where even my current one, who's not a fan of it, is like, yeah, we'll do it. Even she's lost, because we've tried everything. So I don't know where else I'm going to go with this. If you are dealing with some gut problems, digestive problems, drop a comment. Let me know what you've had. I've spoken to other folks. I don't seem like I have the symptoms of ulcerative colitis. I don't even know what the symptoms are of Crohn's. It's so out there. I don't know. I also feel like I've been much more strict than most people within the first 6 months to a year. A lot of folks are like, yeah, I landed in the hospital so many times for this, and I haven't. I don't know if it's because I just put up with the pain and pass out at night, or if it's because I have been very strict. A lot of folks will not go this far. I'm not saying I'm like a freaking superhuman by any means, because I've gone through my share of like I said, just depression, anxiety things. But I think going through that is also, it's keeping me more motivated. And having success in the past and losing it and kind of building back up and losing it is also, it's keeping me more motivated and pushing. Because I know what I can do and what I'm capable of. And that's what I need to get back to. But it's not easy. It's, at the end of the day, I just want to heal my body. And then the whole problem with the neck, I got an MRI of my brain, neck, and spine, and cerebral spinal fluid, whatever it's called, CSF flow. And they're like, yeah, you have 2 herniated discs in the neck, pushing on a nerve, ligament this, huge misalignment that. And I'm like, I bet you most of America has that if they were to get an MRI of the brain, neck, and spine. The problem is, who does that? No one gets that unless they have symptoms of some sort, and then it comes up. To me, that's all secondary. If there is a connection, then yeah, I'll treat it. But there might be a connection, and that's why I don't know. You have your vagus nerve, which is one of your longest running cranial nerves that connects and has a lot of functionality to all your organs, including your digestive function. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe I got to do that, but this stuff gets expensive. 2 weeks of this is $800 something. The test I just told you I got back was over $800 too. When I went to go into Connecticut to start fixing my neck thing, I'm already $600-700 deep in that. My practitioner is like $1,200 for 6 months, and I'm working with them. Like, stuff's adding up, and that's what's really getting to me. So now I'm starting to sell everything. Selling. I got 2-3 cars up for sale, and everyone's like, "Don't worry, this is short term. You'll get back to eating again." I'm like, honestly, I don't even care about eating. I just want to feel better. I got goals that to me are even more important than food. But it's the fact that I'm not feeling well. I'm spending a ton of money. I'm eating worse than a dog. My dogs are eating better than me because they're getting some table food. I don't even get that. And I still don't feel relief after all this. I'll have parts of the day where I feel okay, and I still don't even know what it is. So, like I said, I got to bite the bullet, get the colonoscopy, endoscopy, see what it says. It's one of those things where you don't want something to come up, but you do, because you want to know what it is so you can start treating it. But I've had that already. Oh, you have methane SIBO. I'm like, thank God I know what it is. This was 2 months into it. I'm like 2 months in, I don't know what it is. It's this. Okay, we can treat it. Well, nope, didn't work. There's an underlying cause. What is this underlying cause? Now they're saying get tested for Lyme, get tested for mold, get tested for this, get tested for that. It's like, how many more tests can I do? I've had CAT scans, I've had x-rays, I've had digital motion x-rays, I've had MRIs of everything, I've had so many different things, ultrasound, CAT scan, I forget what I said already, all different things. And some stuff is fine. Like the CAT scan shows that there was no blockage and all my organs are working perfectly fine. Yet my pancreatic elastase, which helps digest foods, was all out of whack. It was 189 last year, and then it was 108. It's supposed to be above 200. Below 100 is severely deficient. It was 108. So my doctor puts me on Creon, which is supposed to help my body produce the enzymes or help digest because I don't have the enzymes. I did 2 tests within 24 hours of each other. The next day, I did the same test with another. That was the gut zoomer, which is a lot more. Over 400. What test is wrong then? Or according to the doctor, it could fluctuate, but not 100 to 400. Normal's over 200. You're gonna tell me I went from being almost severely deficient to the point that you have to put me on medication for it to I'm over double what's normal? At that point, I don't gotta take nothing. And this was within 24 hours, no diet change, no medication change. So it's either the tests are wrong, my body's just really freaking weird. That's also why it's very hard, because it's like, now do I stop taking this medication or not? So this video's getting long. I haven't done a long video like this yet. So maybe this will reach other folks out there. This is the Physicians Blend, Physicians Elemental Diet, dextrose free by Integrative Therapeutics. First few times, it's very sour aftertaste and it doesn't taste too good. You'll get used to it after a week. Just stick to it. I'm trying to stay positive. But there's times where it's really hard. Priorities right now are health and business. And unfortunately, this has, like I said, a huge impact on business. So I'm going to end it here. I will have a playlist that I made a long time ago called like health, fitness, mindset, etc. I'm going to throw this in that playlist and I'll have a link in whatever corner for that playlist that you could watch some of my other videos. I'm going to keep these videos in the future, probably not as much. I really would love to do more automotive content. That's the main channel focus. But I just wanted to kind of share this because I feel there's not a lot of talk about this and a lot of people don't understand how hard it is for folks going through this. So if you're going through this, just know that there's a lot of us probably going through it, and we know it's not easy. And I know a lot of folks outside don't see from the outside how difficult it is. So drop a comment. We'll converse a little bit. If you want to subscribe, it's probably going to be more automotive content. But again, I'll probably have some of this too. It's not to the point where I feel like it's worth starting a second channel. I really want to get healed and move on with my life. If there's any other doctors you guys would recommend, I'm in New Jersey. I've traveled, Long Island, Connecticut, this and that. But that's it. This is getting long already. I appreciate all the support. If you're in the automotive community, you can visit drivendistrict.com for some merch and parts. It does help support me and my channel as well. And like I said, just drop a comment, we'll chat. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.